Esther. I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm not a YouTube vlogger. I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but I typically share my blogs by typing them out. But because this testimony is just something really dear to my heart and I have a lot to say, I decided to record it. But I will be returning probably back to me typing my blogs. I just really wanted to record myself for this one. I'm super excited because this has been something that's been on my heart for a long time, and just reflecting back onto where I was about 6 months ago and a year ago, I'm just so grateful for the position that I am now. And if you don't know, this blog is pretty much going to be going over pretty much my whole testimony about getting into medical school and why I chose to go to the University of Florida College of Medicine, which is where I will be going this fall. Double Gator. Just a little backstory. I started this blog about a year and some months ago, and the main two reasons why I started this blog was because one, I wanted to reach more. I wanted people to basically hear my story, like me being the author of my own story. So that's one of the main reasons why I put it. I feel like oftentimes people have different perceptions about who I am and how I act and what I do. So I really try to put the real version of myself on the blog. I want people to see that I struggle too, and I go through a lot of things that everyone else goes through as well. So that was one of the first reasons. And then the second reason why I started the blog was because I like to journal and I like to kind of reflect on moments I was at a certain period of time in my life. And I feel like blogging and having to put it on social media and kind of having that responsibility made me more accountable to actually keep up with it, even though I'm not gonna lie, I be tripping sometimes. But I love going back and reading on a post and being like, wow, this is the position I was at, or wow, I'm tripping, I need to get back to where I was before. So those were the main two reasons why I started my blog. And I'm very excited to go into this testimony today. It's funny because I've been thinking about sharing this, but I didn't really think about how I want to start it. Oh, okay. So just a little backstory. Those of you who don't know me, I went to University of Florida undergrad, and I've been wanting to pursue medicine since I was in kindergarten. I had a really good relationship with my pediatrician, and that's what kind of started that initial passion of wanting to go into medicine. But it was truly while I was in undergrad and high school that I truly realized why I want to go into medicine. And now that I'm thinking about it, I can make a whole post on why I decided to go into medicine, but whatever. And so I decided to apply straight in, so I didn't take a year off. And if anyone who follows my blog post, you can see me talking about my story. So you see me going through the MCAT studies and failing and not doing so well, and me just talking about my failures and applying. And I never thought I'd be in this position where I'm telling a testimony. I felt like on my blog post where I was trying to be confident and be happy and optimistic and trust in the Lord, but the fact that I'm on the other side, wow, I fought the good fight. I did trust in the Lord, and as a result, I'm here now being able to share such a positive story. I think is just phenomenal. Those of you who know, when I was applying to medical school, the one school I said I did not want to go to was the University of Florida. And at that time, I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of stubborn. My reasoning for not going to UF med school and not even applying was simply because I did not want to be in Gainesville anymore. I have no type of hate for UF's medical school. I loved it. No problem with it at all. It was just the fact of being in Gainesville. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I love that city. I love being in the South. I love big cities. And I just knew Gainesville was good. My 4-year tour was great, but I just knew I didn't want to be in the city anymore. So I'm surprised I even put UF as during my primary applications. I put UF, but to be quite honest with you all, most of my applications were out of state. I literally only applied to 2 schools in Florida. That's how bad I was trying to get out of the state. So I guess I did UF for the primary application. And for those of you who aren't familiar with how medical school applications work, you do one primary application where you basically list all the schools you want to go to. And that one application is kind of like Common App for undergrad. It goes to all the schools. Then afterwards, you get secondary applications, which are specific to each school. So that's when you have to answer different essay prompts for each school that you want to go to. So I did a primary application for UF. And for secondaries, I actually did not do UFs. Like, that's how confident I was that, or not even confident, but that's how sure I was that I did not want to be in Gainesville anymore. It was my last choice. Oh, so ironic. So I did my secondaries and everything, and if you guys follow my blog post, you'll see where I kind of talked about praying and waiting and trusting. My whole entire fall semester, I didn't hear anything back. I'm seeing other people get interviews, and I'm seeing other people getting accepted. I'm just like, yo, I haven't gotten one interview yet. I know my MCAT score was not too hot. And I know, like, I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm like, I know maybe I should have did a summer program, just like starting to question my entire application as a whole. And, other people be like, Esther, be confident in yourself. You bring so much to the table. You need to be confident in what you do. But it's so hard when you're just looking at other people and you're like, why isn't this happening for me as well? So I definitely did start to question myself during that time. And all of fall semester, like, I was hearing nothing. And I started getting nervous. People would ask me, what are you doing after graduation? I'm like, oh, I'm waiting to get an interview for medical school. And if I don't get one, I don't know. And if you read my blog post, Pray, Wait, and Trust, you can even see where I started talking about how, like, I started applying for grad schools. Like, I kid you not, like, I applied to USF. I was about to apply to Morehouse. I was just applying for these post-bac programs. I was looking to research programs. But whenever I got to the end of all these applications, I never clicked submit. I would do the entire application and not click submit, just because I was like, something in me was telling me, like, Esther, just continue to trust in the Lord and continue to wait. One of my biggest prayers when I was praying for this whole medical school application was, God, the MCAT score I need to go to the school you want me at. And I just kept saying, God, the school that you want me at. The school where I can succeed the most. The school where you can see your purpose in me being, developed. And the school, like, I can just grow in. God knew where I needed to be, but I was stubborn at the time. So that was essentially my prayer. Like, I really didn't care where I went, even though I didn't want to go to UF, but I just know I wanted to go to a medical school. I wanted to get accepted somewhere. I was getting desperate, I'm not going to lie. So that was pretty much my story at that time. And I kind of came to an acceptance, like, around December, that, you know what? If I get into medical school, I get into medical school. If I don't, I don't. And it was after a conversation I had with my dad, and he was like, Esther, you did everything you could. If you were confident in all the things that you did, you have to just see this application cycle through. And if it didn't work out, you need to move on optimistically and pursue the next application cycle. So I started to kind of just accept, like, yo, I'm probably not going to get accepted, but God, I'm going to see this through, and I'm going to trust in you, and whatever my next steps in life are, I'm going to take it. So I kind of, like, accepted that for myself and everything. And I typed that blog post December 5th, 2018. So that fall semester, I also shadowed. I shadowed a doctor with the MAPS program. And while shadowing the doctor through that program, I started to realize how much UF Med is such a great school. The doctor that I shadowed was on the admissions committee for UF. And he also had a resident at the time that I was shadowing. And just seeing that dynamic between the doctor, myself who was shadowing, and the resident was just so cool. And I also just got to really see how much UF was a teaching hospital, and how much they put into their students. And even listening to the resident talk about UF and, like, how great of a school it is, XYZ. And then that moment, I'm just like, yo, this would have been the dumbest thing I ever did. Like, I'm on home court and I'm not using home court advantage right now. Like, I literally go to UF and I felt like I did well here. I met a lot of people. I know a lot of people. And I'm not even applying to this school. Not even because I hate the school, but just because I didn't want to be in the area. Now, hear me out. I'm not going to lie. Don't apply to school if you completely, hate the area and everything. Like, when I was applying to schools out of state, I know I didn't want to be in a completely rural area, so I didn't apply to anywhere like that. But something in my heart just told me, like, Esther, like, you need to apply to UF. So I went to work. It was December 8th. Anyone who was applying to med school knows December 8th, December period, is late as heck for secondary applications. Like, I finished my other secondary applications in August. I was about to do UF secondary application in December. So that's just showing you how late this is. This is like, whoa, end of the ballpark. Like, this is a rolling admission school. Like, the chance of me getting in were like slim to none. But I did it anyway. Something in my heart told me to do it. And I submitted the secondary application while I was at work. Actually, I read the whole thing and I was just so excited and pumped up with adrenaline. I typed it all up. I read it over and then I texted my friend. Shout out to my friend. She knows who she is. And I was like, listen, like, something's telling me to apply to UF. And I know I kept saying I didn't want to apply, but I have the application here and I'm about to submit. Can you pray for me? And I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. at that time. So she just sent me a text because I couldn't be on the phone while I was at work. And she sent me a text prayer. And you know when you just have a feeling that God is going to just do something so miraculous in your life? Like, I screenshotted it. I just knew that this had to be documented and I had to remember this specific moment. Even the steps of me, like, about to click submit, I recorded it. And I kind of just, like, let it go. Like, God, it's in your hands. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't even heard back from schools I submitted applications to in August, but I'm going to leave this in your hands. And that's exactly what I did. So then, you know, submit the application and I'm just going on living my life. So let's fast forward to January. So January 1st, I went to church for New Year's and I was speaking to a family relative and he was talking to me and just explaining to me how, like, you know, Esther, whatever school accepts you, you know, I hope a school accepts you and that you end up going. And he's asking me about my applications process. And I'm like, you know, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm trying to be positive. Like, I don't know, but I'm trying to see it through, trying to be positive, trying to see if I get accepted anywhere. And he's like, you know, I'm praying for you, like, good luck and everything. But obviously at this point, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So that was what happened. And then school started back up and everything. And I'm just trying to be positive. I'm interning this semester. And that weekend, it was actually my first time during my 4 years in college that I actually didn't work on Fridays. And I always work on Fridays. And that Friday, and I was like, what do people do on Fridays in college? So I hit up my friend Clara. I was like, Clara, like, you know, I don't work Fridays this entire semester. What are we doing? And she was like, we're going to church. I'm like, you know what? I can't get the good word of the Lord. Let me go to church. So I put on my clothes and I went to church with them. And it was kind of like a fasting for the week for the new year. And then, like, this last day was like the break of the fast. So I went. It was a great service and whatnot. And then towards the end, Pastor Mike, which is the pastor for the church, he comes on. And he's, you know, starts talking and starts proclaiming stuff that's going to happen in people's lives. And I'm just like, yeah, God, you know, I'm just really feeling it. Because sometimes I go to church and, you know, they're proclaiming these things. And I'm like, yeah, but no, not really. I'm not feeling this. This does not pertain to me. But in that moment, I specifically felt like he was speaking to me. And he was like, some of you all are waiting for good news. And that good news you've been waiting for, you're going to get it this weekend. I was like, oh my God. Like, I never believed someone so much in my life. I was like, wow, I'm about to get good news. I'm about to get an interview. Like, I just was so confident. And then he started listing. He was like, that email you've been waiting on. Hello, I'm waiting on an email for an interview. You're going to get it this weekend. So I left feeling very empowered. I left feeling very encouraged. Even on my way, like, leaving church, like, Let Praises Rise came on. And that's just one of my favorite songs. And I'm just like, let praises rise, God. Like, what I just proclaimed in this church, what I just spoke out to you, what I just declared, God, please allow this to come to you. And I ask that you allow this to actually happen and come to fruition. And I just really felt it. So that entire weekend, y'all, I kid you not, I kept checking my email. Like, I probably check my emails like 20 times a day. Every little email. Sometimes it was just a little email that I got Canvas updates or, you know, spam or something. But I just kept checking my email. And Saturday goes by. I'm not seeing what I want to see. Sunday goes by and I'm not seeing what I see. And I'm just like still trying to keep the faith. But I'm like, wow, God, like, I really feel like you were calling me and telling me I was about to receive good news. I really felt it. And I'm not seeing that. But I kept the faith and I kept looking at my email, kept checking because I knew I was going to get good news.